Welcome, everybody, to the GWP. That's the Geek Wrestling Podcast. My name's Jose Sands. I'm here with...
Hollywood.
And...
Right, yeah, Hollywood.
Yeah, Hollywood. And
Big Ralph.
And Big Ralph. We're here to talk about this week in wrestling. What could have been, what should have been, and what was. So we have the Elimination Chamber coming up this weekend. We also have the first Women's Elimination Chamber coming up, with Alexa Bliss defending her title in the Elimination Chamber against Sonya Deville, Mandy Rose, Bayley, Mickie James, and Sasha Banks. Guys, well, let me start by saying this is our prediction show, where we look at the pay-per-view that's coming up this week and predict who we think is going to win. And we have a point system. Currently, Big Ralph is in the lead with 8 points, and Marcus and I are tied with 6 each. So this could bring somebody even further ahead, or this could bring one of the people who are in second, tied for second, up a little further to the first place person. So hopefully we have some good picks. Hopefully I have better picks than Marcus. Hopefully, Marcus picks, somebody other than Alexa. So we're heading into elimination. Let's see how it works. As I said, we got the first ever Women's Elimination Chamber. So those are our participants: Sonya Deville, Alexa Bliss, Mandy Rose, Bayley, Mickie James, and Sasha Banks. I'm going to you, Mr. Marcus. What do you think, or who do you think's going to win?
You have to put me on the spot.
Of course, you're first.
I gotta go with Alexa. I don't have a choice but to go with Alexa.
Why do you not have a choice but Alexa? Why can't it be anybody else?
Because she's the goddess.
That's it? That's your reasoning?
Well, okay. You had reasoning behind your choices.
I think with the mixed match challenge, she's getting some steam. I don't think any of the other women are in the mixed match challenge from this match. I don't think Mandy.
What did you say? You don't think any of the other women are in the mixed match challenge that are in this match? Is that what you said?
Wait, hold on. Sasha and Bayley were in it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, and Mandy Rose.
Oh, that's right. She was gold.
She was rose gold.
So technically, the only one.
The only two were Mickie and Sonya Deville.
That's sad, isn't it?
That's sad that you don't know your facts and you're on a wrestling podcast. That's what's sad.
I don't. It's like that sometimes. We'll get to why later. You can be sad, but it's okay. But
in his defense, he gets blinded by the goddess. So.
Oh, is that what it is?
That's what it is.
I go with Alexa because I think she has the most, I want to say, positive momentum at this point. I mean, they're not going to give it to Sonya or Mandy. I don't think Bayley's character has been portrayed right, and I don't think she has as much fan support as she should. I think the only person besides Alexa that can probably take it would be Sasha.
Mickie.
No, Sasha, because of the matches that she's had recently with Asuka, and she's proven that she can really go. So, but I don't think Vince is high on Sasha, and she almost kills herself every match. So I think she's a liability. I think you're constant, and your go-to is going to be Alexa because she won't let you down.
Well,
I think she's more dependable.
Well, let's talk about this positive momentum that we got here with Alexa Bliss. Now, we're seeing in the past that Alexa and Mickie James seem to be doing a little pact, a little friendship thing going here. And then, of course, you have the best friends, quote-unquote, Bayley and Sasha, and you have the Absolution girls, Sonya Deville. And so it seems like they're making it seem like there's three teams that are going out here, friend versus friend versus, Of course, we also have the Sasha Bayley tension that's been happening lately. Are we seeing a face turn for Alexa Bliss? And on that end, if she turns face, is Mickey gonna go heel?
Like Ralph.
That's a very interesting proposition you put there.
Well, I did the last very interesting proposition I did make got me married, so I don't know how good they are.
Well, you're still married, so I would say they're really good. I don't know what to tell you. I would like to see it, but I don't know. I don't know if they're going to pull the trick. Because if Alexa wins, like Hollywood says, you think that it would be her at WrestleMania, and who would she face against? Would it be Asuka, and then Asuka's a face? Do you have face versus face?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm just posing it out there since she seems to be getting a lot of positive momentum, more of a babyface turn. She's hanging with Mickey. Is this the goddess just playing us? Is there a swerve coming up? Is she just going to turn on Mickey James? It's going to be the last two, and then they fight. I mean, we already assume that either Bailey or Sasha are going to pin one another, and it's going to cause friction. I'm assuming since Sasha threw Bailey out at the Royal Rumble, then Bailey will get the pin on Sasha in the Elimination Chamber, which causes more tension. The Absolution Girls, I don't know how that's going to play out. I mean, there's a lot of interesting factors. I feel like the two, the two Sasha and Bailey will probably have their own little in feud, which will cause that to like implode, and then it would be Mickey and Alexa versus the Absolution Girls, and then those two going against each other. I don't know. That's my theory, but I don't know. I see a lot more cheers for Alexa, and I just don't know if they're going to go forward with the cheers, or they're just going to swerve us, and she's just going to turn back into the little fiery 5 foot nothing, which we know she is.
But you have so many double turn possibilities in the match. Like you have the possibility of Bailey going heel against Sasha because they're going to implode, right?
Right.
Yeah, but I just don't see. I don't see Bailey's character turning heel.
She's not working as a babyface, though.
Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't matter if heel or face. You just know they're going to implode.
Yeah.
I think Sasha's more effective as a heel.
I agree.
Mickey, I think, can play both because we've seen her as a heel before.
Right.
Yeah.
You're questionable on Bailey turning heel. And I think with all the foreshadowing about how Absolution's saying, hey, we're friends. Hey, we have the advantage because we're friends. With
that
Paige,
never works out in past matches when it's friends getting together and they have the advantage. That never works out.
I think they're going to turn on each other.
None of them ever win.
They'll turn on each other, and since Paige can't wrestle, I don't think the group is going to stay together, even though she would be a tremendous mouthpiece for them.
Yeah, she's just playing cheerleader at the moment, which kind of sucks.
I think every single person in that match is going to turn on their respective counterparts, I think.
So, Ralph, who you picking then, after we made this debate?
Make the right choice.
Unfortunately, Mr. Sands, I'm going to have to side with Hollywood and go with the goddess on this. I just don't see them giving it to Bailey. I don't see them giving it to Sasha. Rose and Deville are still too green to be given the championship. Now, I was kind of iffy if maybe Mickey, but she just doesn't have that support like Alexa has, that fan support. So I'm going to have to go. Yeah. At the beginning, yes, they could have, if they would have pulled the trigger earlier, maybe. But right now, I'm going to have to give it to the one with the biggest crowd support, which would be Alexa.
I think I'm going with Alexa, too, on this. I just see too many possibilities with the main event in WrestleMania being Alexa as the champion versus however they decide to build that.
Yeah.
So speaking of possibilities of women in the main event at WrestleMania, we have Asuka versus Nia Jax, with the possibility if Nia wins, not only does she beat Asuka's undefeated streak, but she'll be added to the main event at WrestleMania to whomever Asuka decides she's going to face. So that means if she does decide to go against the SmackDown superstar Charlotte Flair, who, if she's still champion by Fastlane, where she's going against Ruby Riott, if she's still champion, she could go over there and fight for that championship, and if that's so, then Nia would follow. Who do we think in the Asuka versus Nia Jax match is going to win this one?
Asuka.
I think Nia wins, but Asuka remains undefeated. I gave you my qualifications for that earlier, but for the listening audience, I think Nia Jax wins the match, but she wins by disqualification. She wins in some nefarious means, but Asuka isn't pinned or submitted.
So she's never been pinned, but she has lost.
Right. That's just technicality.
But the way they're building her is she's never lost a match. Not that she's never been pinned, she's never lost a match.
But you could get that on a technicality. You can really get away with that.
You could do that on a technicality.
They're doing the same thing with Aleister Black. He's never been pinned in a one-on-one situation. He's undefeated in singles competition.
I don't like that technicality. I think you should keep her as undefeated, not by technicality that she's never been pinned. I just think she should stay undefeated until WrestleMania.
All right, well, then here's the question for you. If you feel that way, do you feel that if Asuka does win and challenges the Raw Women's Champion Alexa Bliss, that would be a match you would think would be good?
No, she should go for Charlotte's.
She should. But let's say, for sake of argument, she picks Raw, because that's the flagship show. She wants to be on the main show. She's already there. Why not Alexa? Do you think that would be a good match? If we add Nia to the mix, it brings a whole new dynamic to that match, which you just don't think Asuka's going to destroy Alexa.
This is why Nia is being added to the match. Because Asuka cannot cut a promo. Yeah, her English is getting better, and she's understandable, but if you want to build a match, if you want to cut a promo, if you want to advertise it, you need to have Nia and Alexa going back and forth for the English crowd. I think Vince isn't as confident in Asuka to carry the promotional work as he should be, so you're adding somebody else to carry that load while she does all the physicality. If that makes sense.
It makes sense to me. I understand. I mean, did you hear a promo this past Monday? It wasn't bad, but it was a little difficult to get through. And it's not that she's not trying. She's doing a really good job, and it's not for lack of trying, but it is a little rough to get through.
And from what I understand, from listening to other people who were in attendance at the show, while us watching on TV understood her and could make out what she was saying, people in the audience really couldn't. So that's another aspect you have to worry about, the live crowds. So yeah, I think adding Nia is just going to add to the promotional work.
So, Marcus, you're picking Nia. Ralph, you're picking Asuka. I'm going with Nia for the same reasons that Marcus is going with Nia. I think you need to add her to the main event match for WrestleMania, just for a mouthpiece. Also, just so it doesn't look, so you just don't expect Alexa to be destroyed.
Yep.
All right. So another match that's happening at the Elimination Chamber is Woken Matt Hardy versus Bray Wyatt. Now, this rivalry has been going on for a while. We've seen them. It seems Bray Wyatt has gotten the upper hand on Matt Hardy on numerous occasions. How do we feel? Where do we think this is going? Who do you want to win? I'll start with Marcus, since Ralph talked about Asuka the first time, the last one.
Can I pick a I don't care option?
You can, but it won't. You know what? Yes. Marcus is going to get no points for the IDK. It brings me to the lead, so I'm okay with this.
Oh man, I think this entire production
More,
has been.
it's more like IDC. I don't care.
That's right, IDK is I don't know, huh?
Yeah,
Jesus. I
and
gotta learn how
I
to
don't
spell.
care because I mean the whole production has been very poorly done. It's been hard to watch sometimes, and I'm just like, why are you on? Like, I was excited for Broken Matt Hardy, Woken Matt Hardy, whatever you want to call him, but now I'm just like,
They haven't treated the character the way he should be treated. Like the fans, aside from when he goes delete, the fans don't really get behind this rivalry.
oh,
It's
because
kind of like okay,
they have a
they're
dinner like
on.
they did in TNA.
They can do the match, but it's like you don't see the crowd cheering or having this like wow moment. So, yeah, I can see why it's kind of like lackluster, and it feels like it's just added on to just to have a match.
What you call it, tomfoolery and shenanigans?
Yeah, you can call it tomfoolery and shenanigans.
I'm picking Bray because he hasn't done anything in a while, so I'll go with Bray.
Bray Wyatt is Marcus's pick. Ralph, who are you going with?
Long sigh. Oh man.
I'm picking Matt Hardy.
Hardy for you.
I'm gonna go old school with the one I've known the longest.
The one you've known the longest.
It's pretty sad that we're.
He has played chess with me in olden times.
Oh gosh.
Are you Magic?
So
Has your soul traversed the spiritual realms through time and space? Have you returned?
I'm a planeswalker.
And how many lifetimes have you gone through?
Oh, not that many. Just 3.
Are you familiar with King Maxwell?
Am I? It's been so long.
I've Jesus. I don't know if that. I don't know if you were
that match where you just have to make fun of everything.
It's not that I didn't know, Ralph, if you were actually going with it or you were just at that point in the conversation when you were like, oh, do I really got to keep on going with this charade? Fine. I guess I know him.
What was I going to say?
A little bit of both.
A little bit of both. Look, I'm going to tell you, my theory on this is Matt's going to win, and this is where I'm coming from. I believe we're going to get Brother Nero in this. I think he's coming back. I believe with Brother Nero coming back, it brings the Hardy Boys back into tag team title contention because there's nobody good going against the Ba right now in SmackDown or Raw. Sorry.
I have a question for you.
For me?
For both of you.
Okay. Indeed.
If Brother Nero comes back, do they bring in Sister Abigail?
I was going to say that.
You know what? I wouldn't. I mean, I really think...
I only ask because you know how Woke and Matt Hardy has been saying that him and Sister Abigail have been doing this long battle since before times and all this. So, if Brother Nero comes back, or if Brother Nero comes,
oh yeah, I bet you he will.
Oh gosh,
you are so wrong. You're so wrong.
I mean,
if he comes into the picture during this match, would you bring Sister Abigail?
I think the only issue with that is the only person I see that can play Sister Abigail is Nikki Cross, and I don't think you bring her up to the main roster for that.
Not for that.
No, and especially with the character she's already kind of established in NXT. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to bring Sister Abigail. I don't think it'll show she or he, whatever they decide they do, if they're going to have Bray dress up.
Drag.
I don't see that happening now. I think they just bring in Brother Nero. I think that you don't really have any good contenders on Raw for the tag team at the moment. And I think if you put the Hardys together, it'll be fun to see them go against Sheamus and Cesaro. So that's why I'm picking Woken Matt.
You're choosing.
I'm choosing. Picking sounds like I'm doing something to my nose. So there's not that many matches for this pay-per-view. I feel like they're gonna do like an hour, like each Elimination Chamber is gonna be like a 45-minute to an hour show or something. I don't know.
I mean,
when everybody comes out of the cage, it's 20 minutes, right? So
yeah. So, all right. So besides that, we also have Ronda Rousey officially signing her Raw contract, which most likely will set up whatever happens in this. Will set up what's going to happen in WrestleMania, whether it's a tag team between Stephanie, Triple H, Kurt, and her, or another person other than Kurt. We'll find out. This is probably going to set that up. So the last match.
No.
What?
Swerve. She's going to sound with SmackDown.
Yeah, no, that's not happening.
No.
I'm telling you, like Mark Hollywood's words. She's going to be like, "Yeah, you guys are cool, but I'm signing with SmackDown." I see it happening. It's going to set up an inter-promotional match between her, somebody from SmackDown, and what's her name? Steph and Triples.
You know what? I don't think so. Do you know why? I'll tell you why.
Why?
Because
educate me.
I'm going to educate you. What's their flagship show?
Raw.
Okay. What's the most? What show gets the most attention from any other news outlet?
Raw.
The one that the evil Mick Mahan started.
Yes. So, if you're going to have a superstar, a well-known entity like Ronda Rousey, you're going to put her on your flagship show, on the show that gets viewed,
the most views, that gets talked on SportsCenter, the one that's going to generate the most publicity. You're not going to put her on SmackDown, which, even though they say it's not the B show, it is considered the B show.
I countered that by saying your top two athletes in the company right now are on SmackDown, and Charlotte and AJ Styles.
Okay.
So
what does that have to say? What does that have to do with anything? You have an undefeated person on Raw that you would put against Ronda Rousey against to be the first person to defeat her.
Nah, I'm telling you.
You have that's. Oh, come on. You mean to tell me? You mean to tell me that a build where you have an undefeated superstar, being Asuka, who most likely win at WrestleMania, you're telling me you wouldn't put a Ronda Rousey in front of her to make it go to build that tension and that storyline up? You have the almost unbeatable until the end UFC women's bantamweight champion who won it the first time out and held it for years, go against going against a person who's 2 years into her contract and has never been beaten too. That story writes itself right there.
No, but you're forgetting one important point, my friends.
What?
The superstar shakeup after WrestleMania. So there's the potential that these people are going to be displaced and dislodged from the current situations and put on different shows.
So you're switching Charlotte and Alexa again, is what you're doing. Is that what you're doing?
They're stupid, so they probably will.
I mean, that's just ridiculous. I wouldn't switch them. Switch somebody else. Switch Bayley over, or switch Naomi over. Those two would be a fun one to see on different shows, But
Becky on Raw,
or Becky on Raw, But not that.
Not the ones that you've recently just switched.
Especially if you do Bayley and Sasha at WrestleMania and then do Superstar Shakeup. have Bayley go over. She'll work well on SmackDown. They need a little bit more, She could get the championship over there.
Need more hugs.
More hugs. I mean, I'm not going against Charlotte.
I'm not. I'm not always right, but I'm right most of the time, and I'm telling you.
You're wrong this time.
Wow.
He just called you out.
It's okay. He can come at me.
So, the last match that we have under the Elimination Chamber, unless they change that before Sunday, is the Men's Elimination Chamber match, which is the winner will face Brock Lesnar for the Universal title at WrestleMania. The difference
Do we have to talk about this?
Yes. The difference between this Men's Chamber match and other Men's Chamber matches is that there are going to be 7 men. So instead of the usual 2 that will start off in the first 7-man Elimination Chamber, there will be 3. A pod will open every 5 minutes until all 7 superstars have entered the match. Miz will be the first one to enter, even though he's going to have 2 other ones there with him, so it's really not a disadvantage anymore. And then the last person to come out is Elias. Who is your pick, Ralph?
Wow.
Come on.
Because WrestleMania is nearby, I'm going to go with the safest choice, and I'm going to go with Roman Reigns. I don't want him to win. I am picking him against my better judgment. I'm picking Roman Reigns.
Now, 2 things I want to point out. This last week on Raw, they had a gauntlet match. Now, in the gauntlet match, 2 men prevailed, or 2 men were outshined the rest. One of them was the winner of the whole gauntlet match, which is Braun Strowman, so we can't discount Braun Strowman. Also, we had Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins was in the match for over an hour, who set a new record, where a televised event where he set the longest to be in a match for a televised event, and then the gauntlet match itself is the longest match ever in WWE that was televised. With those 2 factors in there, do you think, besides Reigns, which everybody is predicting, that those 2 might actually have an opportunity as well?
Nope.
No.
I see Braun going for the IC title.
And how do you think they're going to get rid of the Monster of Men in this match?
Who?
Roman Reigns.
Monster among men.
Oh, they're just going to jump him.
They're just going to jump him?
They're going to jump him?
Like, you think he's going to be in a pod, and eventually everybody else is going to be out, and except Elias, and then he's going to come out, and they're going to jump him?
Knowing him, he push the pod open before it's even time for him to come out.
Right, so Look, I understand the whole it's going to be Reigns, but how are you going to get rid of Braun Strowman? And why wouldn't Braun Strowman be more of an interesting? He's already well over with all the fans. Why isn't that match between him and Brock Lesnar more appealing than him and Roman Reigns?
Don't pull triggers, so they should, and I have no confidence. Right.
Mick Mahan wants Roman Reigns, and he's going to have Roman Reigns at WrestleMania with Brock Lesnar.
Hella high water.
Yeah. Even if it stinks the company, he wants Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. So it's not whether I do not want to see Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. It's been done, and I would prefer Braun Strowman to win, and I would prefer Braun Strowman to be champion. But the way they've been setting up, they're going to do Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. Roman Reigns is going to win, and then Roman Reigns will feud with Seth Rollins. You can quote me on that.
All right.
I don't know who he'll feud with afterwards. I think you have Elias, and you also have Strowman if he doesn't go for the IC title. But yeah, Reigns is going to win. And I think Steph's performance tonight in the Elimination Chamber was only to raise his stock, so that when the match happens, like when he gets eliminated, I was like, oh my god, he got eliminated, and then Roman Reigns wins.
Okay. I'm going with Braun.
You don't know. You think they're gonna pull the trigger?
I want them. I think they should. I think I think with what he did with a bass cello, because I know you guys are going to get on me because I don't call it a bass cello, but what he did with the thing with Elias, he's so over. Why wouldn't you want that as your main event?
I agree. I agree with you. And if I'm wrong in this match, I don't care. But I'm going for the win, and I'm picking Roman Reigns. Now, if you win and it's Braun Strowman, I'll be happy that I lost. But it's not going to be Braun Strowman.
You know what I just realized after you said that? That's how they can get Braun Strowman out. Kane. Have him come up from underneath the ring. A la Shawn Michaels Undertaker.
He hasn't been seen.
I want to see Corporate Kane come back. No, but it's fun to say Corporate Kane.
Yeah, when I'm sitting around in my house and I'm thinking of something funny to say, I say Corporate Kane, and it just sounds great.
It does. It always makes me laugh.
You know what word always made me laugh? Dookie. That just sounds like a funny word.
Yeah.
It's better than Corporate Kane.
I have a question for you guys.
No.
I said yes.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Do you guys think that Finn Balor will come out in the Demon King?
Nah.
Or he just Finn Balor now? He's not the Demon King anymore.
No, I think they're saving that for special thingies.
Yeah. No. He's not coming out as Demon.
Him coming out as Demon King is the only way I can see all of them ganging up on Braun Strowman and actually being able to beat him.
No, I don't see it.
I don't think that, because Super Cena hasn't been Super Cena. He hasn't been eating his vitamins. He hasn't been taking his vitamins.
He didn't do his
prayers.
Or eating
his Wheaties.
No Fruity Pebbles.
Eating his Wheaties or Fruity Pebbles. He's just been regular Cena.
I don't know, man. I don't think he's getting enough Nikki in his life.
I think he's been getting too much Nikki in his life.
That too. That can cause some damage to your stamina.
Unless he's getting too much Ferdinand.
Oh.
That's just wrong.
So, those are our pick. Actually, I wanted to pose this question to you. We had this past week on Raw. We were Titus Worldwide beat the Bar. Do you think that since we don't have a men's tag team championship match in the Elimination Chamber, do you think this comes up as a Kickstarter?
Wow.
Yeah.
A Patreon?
A Patreon. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is this a... Jesus, I can't even think of a word. What do I want to say?
Kickoff show.
Kickoff show. Is this a kickoff show match? Or do you think this will be added later to the Elimination Chamber due to time?
Dana Brooke es la profesional.
Oh, yes. Dana Brooke looks like a slut.
Oh, gosh.
So it doesn't matter.
What does it have to do about the tag team match?
That's exactly what I said. I'm like, that's not the question.
What does that have to do with that? Do you think they're going to add it, yes or no?
No.
Seeing how
because it would have been advertised. It would have been advertised way before now.
Come on, Thursday. Okay, on pay-per-views, any pay-per-view, they sometimes add matches that are not advertised at the time.
I mean, I don't know, man. I don't care. Depending on how the match time goes, if somebody gets hurt, they have to stop a match early. I think these matches are set up to go long on purpose because half your roster's in 2 matches as it is. So, I mean, I don't want to see no skanky tag team match in the middle. Nah. Save that for something else, man.
Save the skank for something else, huh?
Yeah, man. Save it for Dolph, because apparently he gets around.
Wow. Okay. So, those are our predictions and our picks for the Elimination Chamber. If you have any arguments or anything you want to say otherwise, or think that maybe our picks are wrong, especially those who pick Roman Reigns, please give us a comment below.
And if you think Dana Brooke's not a hoe.
And if you think this is not family friendly in any way, calling a woman a hoe, please let's make sure we got that. If you have any comments, please let us know.
I was trying to be as family friendly as possible.
Yeah,
I didn't use any words that I don't know, man. Whatever.
You don't. Well, you know what? Okay, so for all you people who are under the age of 10, 12, a hoe is a gardening tool, and Marcus feels that Dana Brooke's outline looks more like a gardening tool.
Yeah, for the vegetables.
For vegetables, and she eats her vegetables because eating vegetables are good.
Obviously. Am I going too far?
No, you're fine.
A little bit? Oh, okay.
Oh, well, I thought it was fine.
I just found out.
Uh-oh.
Titus Worldwide did challenge Sheamus and Cesaro for a tag team championship at Elimination Chamber, but the bar hasn't responded yet.
Right, so it could be added.
It could be added. It could be a last-minute ad.
Okay. So we already said that, so where are we? So Lost. Totally Dana Brooke and her, whatever you said in Spanish is totally threw everything out the door here.
La Profesional.
So let's talk a little bit about what's happening on SmackDown. One of the main things on SmackDown is the continuing who knows what's going on for the title, where you now have a fatal four-way between AJ Styles, five-way, Styles, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Baron Corbin, and Dolph Ziggler. Now, the only reason why I'm bringing this up, because I know how much you love multi-man matches there, Marcus. I'm bringing it up because something was said. I know how much you love multi-man matches, Marcus. That's what I'm going to call you. I'm going to call you multi-man match Marcus.
Okay.
So reason why I'm bringing this up is because there was a little exchange that Sami Zayn did with Kevin Owens this week, where he said that they were going to show up, Shane, and that they're going to work together and put together. They're going to go against everybody and be a team, and when it comes down to it, Sammy's going to lie down and let Kevin get the pin so he can become the champion. Kind of seems fishy to me. I feel like there's going to be a heel turn on Sammy's part to where Kevin kind of goes face. What do you guys think about that?
I don't think Kevin's been face yet. So would it be now time to make him a face?
Well, I mean,
can he be a face?
Can he be a face?
Character?
I don't know. I think they can keep a lot of the aspects of his character. I
think he's more of a natural heel.
Yeah, but he can still do what he does, and it'll
kind of
go.
Like Strowman.
Yeah, kind of like what Strowman's doing, and I think he could pull it off because I think Sammy, being almost like a what is it? What's the word? Like a swarmy, like a sneaky.
He's very obnoxious.
Heel. Yeah, but being sneaky about it and being conniving and being like, look, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna go, gonna do it. And I think when it comes down to it, it's gonna be Sammy who pins Kevin and becomes champion at one point. I feel. But again, I don't think that would happen because people want Nakamura Styles. So I understand that. But I feel like at one point, I think Sammy will get the title, and I think Sammy will have a little run, and his opponent will be Kevin Owens. Out of curiosity, I thought if you saw that as well, because I thought that was an interesting exchange between the two.
I saw it and I watched it and I was like, oh, this is interesting. You're literally foreshadowing the turn. So Because when somebody says that, you know they're going to turn on you. Like, you know that he's not going to lay down.
Right.
So they just foreshadowed the entire face heel turn.
Pretty much. That's what I felt too. And another thing I wanted to point out that happened on SmackDown was the New Day beating Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin to become number one contenders for the Usos. Are really going down that route? Or do we feel that the Bludgeon Brothers are going to come and take that spot? Or is it going to be a triple threat for the title between New Day, Bludgeon Brothers, and Usos? Because I don't think they have faith in the Bludgeon Brothers actually doing a great match with the Usos.
I think the Bludgeon Brothers are going to steamroll the New Day.
I hope so, because I'm tired of New Day. They're starting to get annoying now.
Like they're gonna beat them up so badly that they can't make the match, and then the opportunity is gonna be given to the Bludgeon Brothers to go against the Usos.
I don't know, man. The Bludgeon Brothers are a good team. I don't know why they're not pushing Breezango. What's their name?
Breezango is a comedy. The Ascension is now a comedy group, and
yeah, but they can both wrestle.
They can wrestle, but unfortunately, Mr. Mahan prefers them as comedy, and once they're in comedy, he doesn't give them opportunities.
And American Alpha 2.0 has, they're really good in the ring, and Chad Gable can carry the personality and talking parts of it. So it's just kind of like, I feel like they're burying talent for no reason, or not giving. Who was getting over Strong, and they released her. Breezango, really good. We saw him at a house show, really good. What are they doing? They're not wrestling. Everybody who gets over on their own merits and not over by what WWE does to push them, they go on the back burner, and I don't get it. It's like I don't know. It's just weird.
The land of opportunity it has become an opportunity for favorites.
Basically.
Well, I mean, it's just I always feel that SmackDown has the better handle on tag teams than Raw does, and they have a lot of them. So
they have better tag teams than Raw does. Yes,
I think SmackDown.
They just need to know how to use them better.
Yeah, but I think they have a better handle on it. Like, you see more tag teams on a SmackDown show than you do see on a Raw show. You see the women a little bit more on a SmackDown show than you see on a Raw show. The only thing that they're not handling very well, I feel, on SmackDown is what's going on with the main event and the whole Shane and Daniel Bryan thing. Like, that has to either come to an end or they have to do something with it. I think it's been too long. It's that not knowing will they, won't they, feud. And I think if you did have a feud like that where they each have their own talents and have like a civil war inside SmackDown, it would be interesting. But I digress. So this is Jose San's 205 live update, because I know you're both interested. Why are you laughing? Because I know you're both interested. So we're still doing the Cruiserweight Classic.
I laughed because of the way you worded it.
What? So we had the Cruiserweight Classic, or not the Cruiserweight Classic, Cruiserweight tournament happening. We have Buddy Murphy, who is now on 205 Live officially, or Mr. Alexa Bliss, coming in and defeating Arya Daivari to advance. He is going to fight the winner of the Jack Gallagher and Mustafa Ali match, which was Mustafa Ali. And Mustafa Ali and Jack Gallagher had a great match. So if you guys didn't see the Jack Gallagher and Mustafa Ali match, I would suggest it. I know you two are very big on 205 Live, so I wanted to make sure I kept you up to date with this.
I love 205 Live.
Very interesting show.
You guys. Okay. So every week we like to watch a match or predict a match that's either old school or new, and we call this the main event. This week's main event match was Ralph's pick, and Ralph, what was your match, and which one did you want us to watch over again?
For this week, I picked the main event at WrestleMania 30 for the what was it called back then? The
WWE World Heavyweight
Championship. The World Heavyweight Championship.
The Heavyweight Championship of the world.
The world.
Between Batista. Batista. Randy Orton, the current champion, and the one and only GOAT, Daniel Bryan. Greatest of all time.
Oh, I thought because he looked like a goat.
The Bryan that is to Daniel.
The Bryan that is Daniel, yes. I picked this match because of all the implications that were going into the match. How it was... I've always liked the underdog story where this wrestler, in this case, that no one sees as a winner, comes from behind and just wins. The match was a flawless match, except for one tiny thing, which was the Hurricanrana that was botched by Batista.
Because it's Batista.
Because it's Batista. And Daniel Bryan had just fought a grueling match against Triple H, which he won, which is how he was able to come into this main event match. I honestly, after watching Triple H versus Daniel Bryan early on, I did not honestly believe that Daniel Bryan would win. And going in the match, it did not look like he was going to win. Then he had his moments where you're like, okay. And then he took a Batista bomb to an RKO on the announcer table. And I was like...
nasty. That was real nasty.
That was nasty. I cringed. And even rewatching it, I cringed again. And I was like, he's out. He is not going to come back. And he ends up winning the whole shebang. And I'll tell you, even rewatching it, I got goosebumps all over my arms again. What did you think?
Oh, I was like, is she done already?
Yeah.
I watched it.
I go to the point.
Oh, okay. I respect that. Mr. Sands, are you recording?
Yeah.
Okay, so I watched while we were recording the entire match, and I think the flow of the match was great. Like, there wasn't any time where it slowed down too much or sped up too much. I think the pacing of it was awesome, and the addition of Daniel Bryan saved them tremendously, because I think Orton and Batista, while they are great, would not have been able to hold that main event spot by themselves. And if you know Daniel Bryan's story, like Big Ralph said, the underdog story, the guy who never wins, the big one, like, when he won this, it's like he won it. He fought all odds, the authority, interference, crooked referees, like, he went through it to win this match. And the story was awesome. The in-ring action was awesome. Couldn't hear the commentary, but screw JBL, so I don't care. So
as much they're like, oh, he's a corporate stooge. Batista was Batista. So had they not added Daniel Bryan into the mix, I don't think that main event would have been as great as it was.
And yeah, that was the main title too. So you had nobody else, because now you have the choice. Like, do you want to end the show with Lesnar and Roman Reigns? You think they would have learned their lesson by now? How Roman Reigns is a failed experiment.
You would think they would have learned their lesson. Unfortunately, when it comes to Roman Reigns, they don't listen to the fans. I don't know.
Sadness.
It is. They should have. See, what's his name? Finn Balor could be like Daniel Bryan, the underdog against the big, strong guys.
It's too small, though.
I'm just saying. Just my honest opinion.
I agree. Either Balor or Johnny Gargano. Johnny Gargano, I think, is the...
Wrestling. I like it.
But think about it. Johnny Gargano is like the modern-day incarnation of Shawn Michaels, I think.
I thought you said it was, what's it called? Adam Cole, Bebe.
I mean, oh man, you're making me choose between Adam and Johnny. That's not fair, man. And Mr. Sands is quiet because he's just taking this all in to have ammunition to troll me with.
No, not at all.
That did not sound convincing at all.
I don't know what. I'm just listening to what you guys had to say. That's all.
Indeed.
So, Mr. Sands, what were your opinions on the match?
No, I agree with majority of what you guys said. I agree that it was a match where it was the story that brought it together. I mean, I think you guys underestimate a little Batista and Orton, because Orton is. When I was watching the match, I realized how good Orton is and how he can carry a match and his psychology between it. So, I mean, he is good, but I think we take him for granted in a lot of things.
No, he's great, and I'm not trying to downplay what he does. I just think that the storyline and the crowd just didn't care for a Randy Orton versus Batista match. Kind of like which Royal Rumble was it, where Daniel Bryan comes back from injury and everyone's behind Daniel Bryan, and then WWE just has Bray Wyatt just throw him over. It's kind of like the crowd is behind this one wrestler. So that's what I'm trying to get at. It's them. It's Mick Mahon finally listening to the fans. Is like, you guys want him as a champion? I'm going to give him to you as a champion.
I think if he would have still been injured and he wouldn't have been able to compete, then Batista Orton would have gone off without a hitch. I think it would have worked. I think you wouldn't have any complaints. You would have been good. But just a mere fact, Daniel Bryan could wrestle, and he was not given that opportunity. The fans were not going to let that happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's all story driven at this point. That's what drove the match, and a lot of matches are like that. If the story is great behind it, then the match ends up turning amazing, even if it may had a couple of faults in it as well. I mean, you could say the same thing recently with Jericho and Kenny Omega. The story there caused that match to blow up. Hell, even was it Hollywood Hogan and Rock? If you really look at that match is not all that great. But the story behind the match, the crowd in that match, that's what
generational match.
Yeah, that's what made that match great. This had such a great story, this underdog story of everybody trying to put him down, the fans getting behind him, the fans finally getting something and being heard. That's what made this match so special. And then the fact that he won just blew the top off. So, I mean, it's a great match. It's always good. It's the highlight of Daniel Bryan's career, I would say. That whole run that he had going to get the title. I mean, it's just sad that we didn't get a chance to see what he could do if he had a proper run with it, since he got injured after. But all in all, it was a great match. You can't say anything really bad about it. The build-up was great. The execution, like you said, there was maybe one missed spot, but the psychology behind it, him having the bad shoulder, the bad arm, Batista and Randy kind of saying, let's get rid of this guy because we don't even want him in this match. It shouldn't be a triple threat match. This guy should be out of here. And them trying to work together to get him out of the picture, and then, have that match, on that one-on-one match they both believe they deserved. The whole story was, and then the interference for Triple H and Stephanie and all that stuff. It just had every element of a match that you wanted, because it built like we always say. It built. It goes from one area to another area, and it goes to crescendo. And next thing you know, you have the finish, and we all went home happy. And this run, this match is what put Daniel Bryan over, and now no matter what, Daniel Bryan will always be over. So,
Always.
yeah, there's just no way. He's just one of those guys that no matter how many times he comes out, he will get one of the loudest pops. He is most likely, I would say, up there with the Rock and Stone Cold and Cena. He is up there. That is him.
I,
He is up there.
I do not disagree with you.
So,
Now, I have a question. Because this storyline of the Authority versus this single wrestler was also used on the big dog, Roman Reigns. Why do you think that it did not work on Roman Reigns, though?
Because people don't like Roman Reigns.
I
was hoping for a
probably-
more elaborate
Look,
answer, but I
you know
will
what?
take that.
If you really think of this storyline has been used a lot. It worked with Stone Cold because Stone Cold was a person who was an anti-establishment person, where his storyline this was the first time that type of storyline happened. He was anti-establishment. He was not going to listen to what the authority said or corporation, and he was going to go. But it was different. He was a guy who didn't care and kicked your butt. Daniel Bryan, on the other hand, was the underdog because when you look at Daniel Bryan, you do not see a threat. And that was the storyline with him. He was the same storyline as Stone Cold, just told in a different way. He was a smaller guy. He wasn't a big guy. He was someone that you can figure that a person like a Batista, like a Randy Orton, like a Triple H can throw around and beat. Like a person who's a bully in a sense and not win. And that worked because, again, it connected with the audience because Stone Cold connected in a way where you don't like your boss and you wish you could do these things. Daniel Bryan can't connect in a way because you're not what everybody looks for in an employee, let's say.
Yeah, because you see yourself in his eyes. You're like,
Roman Reigns doesn't succeed because he does not connect to the fan base in any of those scenarios. He looks like a guy that just goes around beating up people with zero personality. He's not an anti-establishment person because he was part of the Shield, which was a big anti-thing, but when he broke off, it didn't register with people. He doesn't have the likability, like you said. Now he gets cheers, he gets boos, people do like him, but his connection to the fan for us to relate to is not there. We can't relate to this guy. We can't relate to being in the what do you call it, the fatigues and the things to go against the establishment. What is he really doing? He's not a well-rounded character to understand why I would sympathize or connect with him in any way. Not that he doesn't put great matches on. He is very good at I'm not very good, but he can put on a good match. And he can handle it, and he's been doing it for a very long time, and he's gotten better through the years. It's just that we have no connection with him. I can't see myself as him. I can see myself in Stone Cold, I can see myself in Daniel Bryan. I can't relate to Roman Reigns. And I think that's why he doesn't work in the same scenario as those two worked.
Plus, he needs certain people to carry him through matches because if not for them, it's not going to work.
No, I think he's okay with carrying people through matches. I don't think he's bad. I think he can do it. I just don't. I also think that you had the group of people that he worked with. Roman Reigns worked with his buddies in the Shield, which, they were good, but that storyline kind of didn't fit him. Then he tried to go with the authority storyline because they kind of. We also have to remember he was hot right after the Shield thing came off, and then he got injured, so he was gone for a few months, and then he came back. So that time off didn't do him any good. He was doing really well right after the Shield storyline, and then because he got injured or he got hurt and he was gone for a few months. He lost that steam, and then coming back, he got shot right back up to the top, which nobody liked.
Did he get hurt or was he suspended?
One of the two. I don't know which one it was. It could have been a Hurt storyline, and they just suspended him. I don't really know the reason.
Interesting.
But that's my take on it. But the match, the whole WrestleMania 30, if you haven't seen it, it's a great match. Triple threat between Batista, Randy Orton, who was the then champion, and Daniel Bryan. This is the one where Daniel Bryan wins it. Please let us know your comments and concerns, I guess, or what you think about it. Let us know. You can find us under the Unique Geek Network, or as that is UGeekly, which is UGEEKLY. You can find it at our website called ugeekly.com. My name is Jose Sands. I'm here with
Hollywood Marquez
and Big Ralph.
And we're going to tell you, see you next time, everybody.
Farewell, friends.
Fare thee well.
Yeah.
Fare thee well.
Fare thee well.